So what in fact are the best and worst neighborhoods here in the city of Kitchener? Well, stay tuned. In this video, we're gonna go over the best and the worst. Let's get right into it. Right before we dive into the best and worst neighborhoods, I'll quickly give you a brief overview of Kitchener. It's a city of 270,000 people, located about an hour west of Toronto, and there's three distinct areas that I would like to segment the city into. And right here between east and west, I believe that King Street will be the delineating line between east and west. King Street, of course, is downtown Kitchener, making its way onto Highway 8, and then of course ending here into Cambridge. So this would be considered your east side of Kitchener. This would be considered west, and of course this over here is south. And I believe that if we were to segment it here, it would run right along Bleems Road up into Fairway, and that is pretty much east, west, and southern Kitchener. Now, getting into the best neighborhoods here in Kitchener, we'll start off with number one, probably one of the better areas for your bang for your buck, and that is going to be here on the western side. This is Forest Hill. Now, Forest Hill is a great family-friendly neighborhood, predominantly built in the 60s and 70s. So in this area right now, what we're seeing is a lot of turnover happening with the fact that there are a lot of older people that are unfortunately going into long-term care facilities. They are passing away, but I think there's some excellent value to be had in this area, as most of the homes here have been very well taken care of. And a lot of them will be your stereotypical granny's house. And I would also include this area here, which is a little bit more easterly than what is seen on the map as Forest Hill. Now this part right here is included, but this acts more as a buffer zone between Victoria Hills and Forest Hill. It's not quite as nice as Forest Hill and is much similar to Victoria Hills for that fact. And Victoria Hills is one of the neighborhoods I would definitely shy away from. It's one of the worst neighborhoods, which I'll highlight later. So this area right here, definitely not the greatest neighborhood, but it is better than Victoria Hills. And there's a bit of a stark contrast on this road right here, which is Queens Boulevard, which delineates this northern end of Forest Hills as well as the southern end. And what can you find in this neighborhood? What are the hidden gems that are going to be there? Frankly, I'll show you right now. So this home recently sold for $715,000. This is just below the median price. This again is a raised bungalow in Forest Hill. Again, you're gonna get wider lots in this area, stereotypical granny's house. You're gonna put in a little bit of sweat equity. The major ticket items like the roof, the windows, they were all in pretty good shape. It was the cosmetics that really let down the house. But again, for $715,000 entry level, I understand that, Ontario pricing is expensive, but I would consider this a great entry-level option. If you're looking to raise a family, you can definitely grow into this home. You do get those wider lots in this neighborhood. And again, Forest Hill, alluding to the fact there is a lot of forestry in this area, a lot of greenery, very beautiful, great to go on long walks. Moving on to the next neighborhood is going to be south of Forest Hill in the southern end, which is going to be Huron South. Now, this is a relatively newer subdivision. A lot of new stuff being built right now, as you can see in this area right here. This is all new development happening right here. Many new home builders like Heathwood Homes as well as Fusion Homes, two great reputable builders. Fusion Homes is wrapping up with a lot of their detached right now, but they do have some condo townhouses available. And I'll show you some of the great options that they have in this neighborhood for $500,000, which is a very good entry level for your first time home buyer. You'll be able to purchase a stacked townhouse. Now this is a one level, a bungalow style, so it acts like an apartment. It has 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 907 square feet, and it sold for just over $500,000. So a great entry-level opportunity. Now, if you're looking for a little bit more expensive, you're looking at that 750 mark. We have an excellent option here, which sold recently with just under 1,600 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms for $735,000. So definitely you do have a lot of great options in this neighborhood. Also, in regards to Huron South, you are pretty close to the highway. You can either go south and then east to catch Highway 401, or of course you can get Homer Watson Boulevard, which will take you to Highway 401. So this is very popular with people who are commuting to Toronto. And even more favorable to commuters is the next best neighborhood here within Kitchener is going to be Doon South, just located east of Huron South, right on the highway. Now, Doon South is a fairly large area, fairly new in fact, and there's 2 kind of distinct areas that I want to highlight here. There's the older part of Doon South and the newer part of Doon South. Now, what you're going to find here is this area here tends to be older, meaning late 90s to early 2000s to the 2010s, in fact. And you're going to find slightly wider lots in this area in particular. This area is absolutely stunning. Really love this area as there's a lot of green space, a lot of elevation in this particular area right here where I'm highlighting. Not too many things go on sale. It's a little bit lower turnover than you will find on the southern side. Now, on the southern side of Doon South, which is this area here, you're going to find a lot more newer construction, things built in the 2010s and 2020s, as well as new construction that's being built obviously here from the map and on into this area. This will be developed into the future. Activa is currently building homes right now in that area, so there are new construction options. Now, this is a great neighborhood again for commuters, for new immigrants coming to Canada. This is quite a favorable option. And within this neighborhood, you'll be able to get predominantly townhouses and detached homes, some on the larger side, some on the smaller side. Townhomes starting probably with 1,500 square feet. You're looking at least $750,000 or thereabouts, very similar to Huron South. And then on the detached side, there are larger homes, $1 million, $1.4, $1.5 million. So again, Doon South, an excellent option if you are looking to move to Kitchener. My name is Kevin Amorum with Remax Real Estate Center, and I get calls all the time about people wanting to relocate here to the Waterloo region. And if you want to relocate here, I would be more than happy to help you. You can book a call with me in the first link in the description, or call, text, or email. Let's get right back to the video. The next neighborhood we're going to look at is Pioneer Tower West, which is again kind of located on the south side of Kitchener. Right here, a lot of locals will refer to this area in particular to Deer Ridge. I would refer to it as Deer Ridge myself as well. Now, Deer Ridge is broken up into 2 areas. This is going to be one of the most luxurious neighborhoods here within Kitchener, probably the 3rd luxurious neighborhood. If we look at Westmount, Pioneer Tower West, and Hidden Valley. Hidden Valley, you're going to find larger homes. You're going to find homes there, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million homes. In Pioneer Tower West, for the most part, it's delineated into 2 kind of distinct areas. One being here on the eastern side, right here. You're located a little bit closer to the highway. But this area right here, this is going to be predominantly homes built in the 90s, early 2000s, a little bit smaller, a little bit more entry level than you'll find here in Deer Ridge on the western side. When it comes to the west, which I would really refer to as Deer Ridge itself, when I think of the typical Deer Ridge home, is this area here. You do have Deer Ridge Golf Club, which is an excellent option if you are looking to golf. Beautiful, goes right around the Grand River. You have Waterloo Pioneer Memorial Tower, again another site to be seen. Pioneer Tower, natural area, lots of great trails around here. And in order to break into the western side here, you're going to be looking at $1.4 million. So this is an example right here, which didn't sell too long ago. It's almost 2,700 square feet above grade. It's more of a 1.5 story rather than a 2-story home. Beautiful wide lots that you're going to find here in Pioneer Tower West. Very geared towards, your doctors, high net worth individuals. So yeah, definitely great options in this neighborhood. And you're in this neighborhood, you're looking between that 1.3 to anywhere to 2.5, $2.6 million, depending on the size and lot. Moving on to the next neighborhood to look at is Idlewood. Now, Idlewood is great. It's located on the eastern side of Kitchener. Now, homes in this area are going to be predominantly built in the late 80s and early 90s. Great construction quality, detached double car garage, even triple car garage at times. I think it's a great option if you are somebody that likes nature. Again, lots of natural areas, lots of great outdoor amenities, lots of great trails. I think Idlewood is an excellent option, especially if you want, again, larger lots, wider lots, a real sense of community here. There isn't too much turnover. There's quite a little turnover in this area because people do love it so much. And in this neighborhood, in order to break in, you're looking at $900K on the lower end, all the way up to $1.7 million. Now, an excellent example that sold recently, which I'll show you, is this one right here, which was just under 2,500 square feet, 4 bedrooms, above grade, fairly well done inside, great finishes, and all in all, well taken care of. As you can see from the lawn, houses in this neighborhood have impeccable landscaping. So if you are a nature lover, I think Idlewood is great. If you are a young professional and you can break into this $900K, $1 million mark, definitely this is the area for you. Now, moving on to the final best neighborhood in Kitchener is going to be just east. This is Grand River South. Grand River South, a great option. Very similar to Idlewood, but newer. New homes in general. We're talking early 2010s to brand new construction, as you can see right here on the eastern side. Again, the Grand River Trail, excellent for nature lovers. It's basically a more mature area of Idlewood. And in this neighborhood, you're going to find some great value at times. Larger homes, the lots aren't so big. They aren't tiny. Some of them are 50 feet. Some of them are 40s. There's not too many in the 30 feet range. They are going to be on the smaller side. But one great example in Grand River South that recently sold is this. This house was sold for $1,557,000. And this had 4 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, over 3,800 square feet above grade. With the finished walkout basement, you're looking at 5,200 square feet with a swimming pool. Absolutely excellent option that sold for just over $1.5 million. This is on the higher end of that neighborhood, but I just wanted to highlight this one because I thought it was a great deal. I think a great option if you are looking in this location, and no rear neighbors as well. Now, looking at the neighborhoods that you should stay away from, I'm going to start from west and then work my way east through Kitchener. Now, the one neighborhood that we're going to start with is Victoria Hills, located on the western side. It is north of Forest Hills, which I highlighted earlier, which is absolutely gorgeous, but Victoria Hills is going to be different. There's some excellent value if you are looking to get into the lower end of the entry level, and there was a great deal that was had in this particular neighborhood that sold for, yes, under $500,000 for a condo townhouse. It does need work. It was tenanted for a while, but if you're looking for sweat equity, the neighborhood isn't that great. It's got a higher crime rate, but again, for under $500,000 for a condo townhouse with over 1,200 square feet above grade, you can't really get better value than this. An excellent option to the person who bought this. Great value in this particular property. Looking back at the map, we'll look at Victoria Hills itself. It's hit and miss in terms of locations. Certain roads are worse than others. If we zoom in a little closer, I'll highlight some of the roads that aren't so great. I mean, Carn, yeah, probably not so great. Brybeck, not so great. The further you get away from Westmount in this particular area right here, we're talking like the Markwoods. This area, not too bad. It's better than I find on the eastern side. This side, not so great. Paulander and this area, not so great. The western side of Victoria Hills is a little bit better, as well as the southern end of Victoria Hills is a little bit better than the eastern side. But again, would I buy here? Yeah, for the right property, I think I would. Definitely, it's something, in terms of violent crime, it's not incredibly bad. Again, Kitchener is a very safe city, But again, if you are looking to save some money, this might be an excellent option for you in this neighborhood. Not the best neighborhood, and it's one of the worst neighborhoods here within Kitchener. Now, the next neighborhood to avoid is right on the eastern side of Victoria Hills, just kind of spills over to Cherry Hill. Now, Cherry Hill is very similar to Victoria Hills in terms of the areas, a little bit less crime than Victoria Hills, but again, still not the best neighborhood in the world. Now, there are better pockets. This area is going to be redeveloped. It's currently being redeveloped right now, as this will be Station Park E, which is going to be right here. This will be the tallest tower within Kitchener and within the Waterloo region at 175 meters tall. So that's a great new development. Absolutely looking forward to that. And of course, you are going to be close to the transit hub here within downtown Kitchener. So I think, Cherry Hill in the future, is there a little bit of room there to invest in, a little bit more bang for your buck in terms of land values going up a little bit more than Victoria Hills? Yes, Cherry Hill, I think, is a better buy. I would prefer Cherry Hill over Victoria Hills. I would buy in Cherry Hill. Not my favorite, but I would still buy there. Now, moving on to the next neighborhood. This is going to be Cedar Hill near downtown Kitchener. Again, not the greatest neighborhood in the entire world. I would rate this below Victoria Hills and Cherry Hill in terms of the crime rate, a little bit of homelessness as well. It is getting better. I think this will rapidly develop in the future because you are located on the light rail transit line, which connects Waterloo and Kitchener. So it's flanked by Charles Street East. There's going to be a lot of new development happening in this area. There's a proposal happening, believe it or not, in Kitchener for a new tower that is going to be 57 stories high. As new development comes into the area, there's more investment, more opportunity, higher income jobs. In the future, this neighborhood, I think, is going to be not such a bad neighborhood as it is now, and it's going to rapidly change when that time does come. As Kitchener continues to build in the downtown cores, as we're reaching the outer limits of Kitchener in terms of the urban sprawl, we're going to be more focused on building up rather than out. Now, moving on to the worst neighborhood in Kitchener, and somewhere I would not live in or buy in, and that is in fact Chandler and Mowat. Now, Chandler and Mowat is located right here. This is going to be southeast actually of Forest Hill, but it's definitely a stark contrast to Forest Hill, and it's a small area, but it's something to be cognizant of. It's kind of hidden. It's going to be this area right here. Now, it's going to be a lot of low-income housing. It has the highest crime rate within Kitchener, which is 41% above the average. Now, again, Kitchener, incredibly safe, but you know what? Chandler and Mowat, I would stay away from. I wouldn't buy there myself. Yeah, the property prices are cheaper, but again, if you take a drive around there, it does not belong in Kitchener in terms of the aesthetic looks. It's, a lower-end neighborhood. But hopefully in the future, things will change and it will get better. There is a new development going on right now, which is just east of this. That should bring a little bit more relief to that area in terms of kind of the crime. Hopefully this new development here, which is low-rise apartment buildings, they are purchased units rather than rented units, which is a great sign of great things to come. Also, you do have McLennan Park right here with McLennan Viewpoint. There's a bit of elevation here. Great place to take a walk. Moving on to the next neighborhood to avoid, I would categorize Southdale. It's not too bad. I believe it's better than all of the ones we've went over previously. It's getting towards a mid-tier neighborhood within Kitchener, in my opinion, and instead of looking at this map right here, I would really draw the border kind of on this side here, as this westerly side right here, this is very similar to Southdale itself, as the crime rates are going to be the same. The houses aren't well taken care of. It is getting better. Again, the closer you are to St. Mary's and the closer you are to Forest Hill on this side, this area right here, this is getting better. And hopefully in the future, it's not a promise, but as the city continues to develop, there's more immigrants coming into the city, more money coming into the city. A lot of stuff will be redeveloped in my case, and I think it'll push a little bit further to the eastern side, and it will get better. So would I buy in Southdale? Definitely. I think there's some great investments to be had. A lot of duplex conversions happening in this particular area, so that might be one way to invest in Southdale. And finally, one of the worst neighborhoods is going to be Vanier and Kingsdale. Now, Vanier and Kingsdale is located just on the western side of the delineation line between east and west. It's almost on the east. And Vanier, again, it's not the worst neighborhood. It's definitely not the best neighborhood. Is it better than Chandler and Mowat? Yes. Is it better than Cedar Hill? Yes. Is it better than Victoria Hills? Yes. I would rate it very close to Southdale. And of course, there's one part of the neighborhood that's worse than the others that I will highlight here on the map. And it's right beside Fairview Park Mall. It's going to be this area right here. This is going to be a lot of lower income, a lot of old style apartment buildings. As you get further away from Fairview Park Mall, it does tend to get better. If you are here on the northern bounds, yeah, definitely much better. If you're here, yeah, for sure, this area is going to be much better than if you are on the easterly side.